And welcome back to my channel. We're gonna talk today. I've done the last couple books and we didn't finish with them because you guys didn't really like them so much, and so let me know. So that's why I didn't tell you guys we were starting a new book, because I don't want you guys to go out and buy it and then what if it wasn't good. So we're gonna start reading it and then kind of see how we like it. So y'all let me know in the comments what y'all thinking about it. So the name of it is Lies Women Believe, and it's by Nancy Lee Demoss. It says, "And the truth that sets them free." So when I was looking for another book, this looked really good, and I think this will help a lot of us. So that's why I wanted to go with this, but we'll read the first couple pages and just kind of see what we think about this. Okay, so first, just letting you guys know, we're just finishing up. We're just finishing up our gratitude. We did a 30-day gratitude kind of challenge every single day. I did a video on Facebook. We kind of talked about it and went through the gratitude book, but we're finishing that up. And after that, starting, I believe it's going to be January 1st, we're going to start doing our war binder. And the war binder group, that is every single day what we do, the war binder for 30 days, something different on it, setting our prayers, setting strategies, just really going to that next level in prayer. We want to really focus over there. So if you do not already have your war binder, I'll leave a link in the description box so you could go ahead and purchase it. You could do the downloadable one, which I think would be the best option for, I believe it's like, well, I think it's $7.99, but I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to slash the prices to $5.99, so that'll be fine. You could go ahead and download it for $5.99. I'll make sure that I slash those prices. Or if you want to purchase a hard copy one, you could do that and we'll send it in the mail, okay? Those are a lot more expensive. Those, I believe, are $15.99, but there's a lot of pages. There's 70 something pages that comes with it in the mail. So that's up to you, or you can print it out and get it like that in black and white. So yeah, so that's up to you, but I'll leave a link, like I said, in the description box. So let's go ahead and get started with this book. So it says, "Banished from Eden, wearing clothes of animal skins, her husband soared her, and on her way to being the mother of the first murdered child and the mother of his killer, Eve must have felt low. Alone, defeated, a failure. How hard it must have been to walk with Adam east of Eden into a world in which it was a struggle just to stay alive. How hard it must have been to have known a paradise and then to be told to leave it." Like, could you guys even imagine going from living in Eden to, okay, you have to leave? Like, can you imagine? Like, I often imagine how beautiful it is and all the trees, and you don't have to work. It don't hurt if you have kids, when you have babies, you know, like now we have to do all that. They didn't have to do anything. Like, all they had to do was live. Can you imagine? And what do you think her husband, seriously, what do y'all think her husband was thinking, you know, because she did it, you know? What Eve must have wanted the most at that moment. What would you have wanted? Like, seriously, what at that moment you're being walked out? I mean, what would you think? I believe that with all her heart, Eve wished she could have taken back the instant just before she bit the forbidden fruit. So yeah, of course, we all would be like, oh my gosh, why did I do that? When her arm was still outstretched toward the limbs of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, an escape was still possible. She ached to do things over, to have done things right the first time. But we are like Eve. We have all experienced defeats and failures, trouble and turmoil. We have all experienced a selfish heart, a shrewish spirit, anger, envy, and bitterness. Some of our failures may not be so extreme as Eve's. They're not catastrophic public events. Maybe they're just small lapses. But they still reveal how far our hearts are from where they ought to be. And we ache to do things over and over to have lives of harmony and peace. Whenever I lead a women's conference, I ask each of the women to fill out a prayer card so our prayer team can intercede for them during the weekend. And after the conference, I take the cards home and read through them myself. And on more than one occasion, I have found myself weeping over those cards. My heart heavy for so many Christian women whose lives are shambles. Women whose marriages are hanging on by a thread. And that's so true, you guys. I always say all the time, I get so many messages and IMs of people who husbands want to leave them. Like, can you just imagine? Women whose heart aches for their children. Women who are overwhelmed with past failures and wounds. Women with intense personal struggles. Women filled with doubts and confusion about their spiritual lives. These women are real women. Their stories, they're real stories. Many of them have been in church all their lives. Some of them attend your church. One of them may be your child's Sunday school teacher. Some attend Bible study every week. They may even be Bible study leaders. In most cases, you never guess what's going on inside of these women. And when you ask, how are they doing? They smile and say, fine. How many times have we did that? When people ask you, how are you doing? You're like, fine. Even though you know inside you're hurting and you're in so much pain and you know you're going through so much. How many times have we did that, you guys? These are the women whose stories have provided who have provided her to write this book. Please understand that these are not isolated testimonies. I am not talking about a few extreme dysfunctional women. I have read and heard enough such stories to fill this book. Our culture is experiencing an epidemic of soul sickness, not just among women out there in the world, but among those of us in church. In fact, if I had to describe a large percentage of the Christian women I have met and talked with in the recent years, I would choose one or more of the following words: frazzled, exhausted, burned out, overwhelmed, defeated, depressed, ashamed, emotionally unstable, confused, angry, frustrated, discouraged, uptight, insecure, lonely, fearful, and yes, even suicidal. You would probably be amazed to learn how many people in any given audience of Christian women have contemplated taking their own lives. Some of them within recent weeks or months. I've no doubt that someone who is reading this paragraph has come to the end of that rope. Maybe it's you. Maybe you feel it just isn't worth going on. Well, let me just say to you, dear one, there is hope. Please keep reading or keep listening, you guys, to this book, okay? Bondage is another word that comes to mind when I think of contemporary Christian women. The vast majority of women I meet are in bondage. They're not free, and often by their own admission. For example, many women live under a cloud of personal guilt and condemnation. They are not free to enjoy the grace and the love of God. Many are in bondage of their past, to their past. Whether the result of their own failures or the failures of others, their past hang like huge weights around their necks, and they carry them everywhere they go, trudging through life. Others are in bondage to what the Bible calls the fear of man. They are gripped by fear of rejection, fear of what people think of them, and a longing for approval. Still others are emotional prisoners, enslaved by worry, fear, anger, depression, and self-pity. One of the greatest areas of bondage women express is in a relationship to food. Wow, that's good. I've heard this from women of all sizes and shapes. Some just can't stop eating. Some can't make themselves eat. Both are in bondage. I don't want to suggest that all women are basket cases, although we all have our moments when we would describe ourselves that way. But I am saying that on the whole, Christian women are in trouble, deep trouble, the kind of trouble that requires more than superficial solutions and remedies. When we turn to the scriptures, we are reminded that God didn't intend for it to be this way. We read the words of Jesus in the Gospel of John and know that God has given something better for us. John 10:10, I am come that they may have life and that they may have it more abundantly. As you look at your life, would you say you are experiencing abundant life Jesus came to give? Or do you find yourself just existing, coping, struggling, surviving? I'm not asking if you have a trouble-free life. In fact, some of the most radiant, joyful women I know are women who are living painfully marriages. Women who have wept at the graveside of a son or a daughter. Women who have been diagnosed with cancer or are caring for an elderly parent with Alzheimer's. But somehow, in the midst of the problems and the pain, they have discovered a source of life that enables them to walk through the valley with peace and confidence and wholeness. What about you? Do you relate to some of those women with stories I shared before? Are those areas of bondage in your life? What if I told you that instead of being miserable, frustrated, and in bondage, you could be free, gracious, loving, confident, content, stable, joyous, peaceful, and radiant? Do these words describe the woman that you would like to be? Perhaps you are already experiencing the grace and peace of God in your life. Most likely you know other women who are living in bondage, though they claim to have a relationship with Christ. Would you like to learn how to show them pathway to freedom? I'm not talking about a magic formula that will make problems vanish. I'm not offering any shortcuts to an easy life, nor am I promising the absence of pain and difficulties. Life is hard, and there's no way around that. But I am talking about walking through the realities of life, things like rejection, loss, disappointment, wounds, and even death and freedom and true joy. You say, that's what I want. I want it for myself. I want it for other women I know. Where do we begin? Through years of agonizing with women over their burdens and problems and searching for Word of God for real answers, I've come to a simple but profound conclusion about the root of most of our struggles. You and I have been lied to. We have been deceived. So we're going to stop right there. This is just the introduction, but I really think I like this book. And I like it because the devil tries to attack the women with so many things. And if we can help ourselves, right? And not only help ourselves, so we help ourselves to get out. We can help other family members. We can help our friends. Like, can you imagine once we learn how to get out of that situation and how we can help other people? Like, we're going to be blessed, I believe, through this series. I think this is good, but it's Lies Women Believe, you guys. We're going to finish this book, all right? So I think this is really good. But you guys tell me, you know, in the comment section, you know, what are some lies that you guys, that the devil tries to tell you, or things that you struggle with? Because I think that's awesome that we as women, and if you don't feel comfortable doing it on YouTube, the reason why I have my Facebook group, you guys, is because it is a private group. Nobody can see it. So that way, YouTube is public and I can't private it, you know. But join the Facebook group, you guys. Join the Facebook group, and you can leave your comment right there. Nobody's going to judge you. Nobody's going to know, because it's only the people that's in the group, and nobody else can see what you write down. Because I want to be there. Like I always say, you know, let's start a sisterhood. In my Facebook group, I said, we are all sisters. We're sisters, right? We should be there for each other. When somebody needs a shoulder to cry on, you know, you can talk to me or talk to somebody else in the group that's been there. Like, that's what we're trying to do. And so let's help each other. I love this book. This is wonderful. We're going to go ahead and continue with this. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put out a couple videos this week, and you watch them when you can. Share the videos with other people, and then go on over to the Facebook group and join in on conversation, and let's become one. Let's become a sisterhood group, okay, guys? So with that being said, that's it. That's all I have today. We'll finish up reading later on this week. I'll talk to y'all later, and I'll see y'all next video. Bye, guys.